Hey YouTube, in this episode my wife and I are going crabbing down the Logan River, and of course crabbing in the Logan River means going after mud crabs. I've had a good look on Google Earth and I've picked out some spots that I think will be good to put the pots in. Launching from the Carbook ramp this morning, getting away quite early so I get the run in the tide. Taking 4 conventional pots and 4 haze pots. And for those of you that don't know what haze pots are, I plan to do a video on them shortly, so keep an eye on the channel and that will come up in the next few weeks. In the meantime, let's have a look at how the crabbing went. Now I dropped the pots in and then I went and did a bit of fishing in the same general area. Can't go too far away because the haze pots need to be checked every 20 minutes or 20 to 30 minutes, whereas the conventional pots that I had, I check every 2 to 3 hours. Regardless of that, down around Logan, there's a lot of share farmers, so you need to keep an eye on your pots. Now, as you can see, I'm still trying to work out the best spots to mount a camera and the best way to get the important bits in a picture, but at least I did get the crab pots in as they came up, and as you can see, the haze pots were producing crabs after a 20 to 30 minute soak. Now, the wife and I came crabbing down to Logan last year, about October I think it was. First time I've been crabbing in Logan since I was a teenager, and on that occasion we discovered just how bad the share farmers were, where every single one of our pots was raided except for one. Now I used to know some good spots around the Logan, used to be able to get a good haul of crabs. I'm not sure whether it's overfished now, but I do know for certain that I don't remember any of the spots that I used to go to, so I'm trying to find them again. Apart from the problem with the share farmers last time, this time I've got a good spot. I'm camping the pots so that they don't get share farmed. However, I'm just pulling up a lot of jennies and small ones. Jennies are quite hard, but they're not bucks, so you can't keep them. Now, I had to go away and do a bit more fishing a couple of times between picking up the haze pots before I picked up the conventional pots, but as you can see, they were also producing crabs in the areas that I'd chosen. Some of the crabs must have been really enjoying the bait because quite a few of them were very reluctant to get out of pots. The truth of the matter is that they actually just got tangled up in the nets, which made them a bit of a pain to get out, but not as bad as some of the others that grab-tailed. Grab-tailed the net with their claws and were very hard to get them to release. Sand crabs, you can sort of prise their claws open fairly easily. Mud crabs are a different story altogether. And of course the females are very aggressive too, so as soon as you start messing around trying to get them out, they'll try and give you a good nip. Now, turning the pot upside down and giving it a bit of a shake usually works pretty well, but occasionally you just got to get your hand in there and go to work. I picked the spots fairly well because while the tide was running, just about every pot I pulled up had at least one crab in it, and a couple had 3 or 4. Not that I could keep any of them because they're small, no jennies as I've been saying, but at least they were there. I've always rather fancied that I could pick good spots for crabbing, and this trip's proving no different. Although there's still a lot that I don't remember because it's been a good while since I've hunted mud crabs. I've been sand crabbing quite a bit, but not been anywhere for mud crabs for a long time. And I do love a good mud crab. So really looking forward to getting a good supply, just got to find the right spots again. That moment when you get the pot up high enough to see that there's some crabs in it, it's a bit exciting, and it's equally disappointing when you get it right out of the water and find that all the crabs are jennies. To paraphrase Ned Kelly, such is crabbing. There's only one thing to do between pulling crab pots up, and that is to try your hand at fishing. I've always been a bait fisherman, but I'm trying to learn how to use lures, so that's all I used on this day. Kept casting them in amongst the mangroves, trying to entice something to bite on them. I know there was fish there because I saw the occasional one splash around, but nothing was interested in taking my lure. Now it's probably my technique because, as I say, haven't lure fished before, trying to teach myself. I have caught a few barracudas on the lures in a previous video, but that's all I've ever caught on them, so need to refine my technique obviously. Now I discovered one obvious thing about fishing with lures amongst mangroves, and that is if you misjudge your cast just slightly, so that you end up dragging your lure back past the mangrove, Those treble hooks that hang down below those very expensive sugar pen lures will catch on the mangrove, and then there ain't no way you're getting that back unless you get out of the boat and wade in to get it. Now, following right on from that discovery is the conclusion that lure fishing might not be as economical as some people have told me, because by the time you factor in the lures you lose, you pretty much pay for all the bait you buy. And if you can cast a net to catch your own bait, then that's got to be the cheapest way to go all round. Now, this is about the fourth time that I've used these haze pots. I've discovered that they have their own idiosyncrasies. You use them quite differently to a normal conventional pot, and I did understand that when I purchased them. But there's no substitute for a bit of hands-on experience and working things out for yourself. I'm pretty happy with them. I'm discovering just how to use them properly and how to get the best out of them, or at least I think I am. I plan to do a video on them at a later date just to demonstrate how I use them and how I found the best to get the most out of these pots. As I say, they're quite different to a conventional pot, but once you understand that, they work great. Now, as well as the green zones that exist around Moreton Bay, there's also been some no-fish zones declared around the Logan River since the white spot disease got into the prawns. These no-fish zones are around the intakes or the prawn farms, and there's no fishing, crabbing, cast netting or anything inside those zones. It carries heavy penalties, so make sure you know where they are. They're marked on this map. You can download your own copy of the map from one of the Department of Fisheries sites. I'll put a link to that in the video description. Now, I recommend you do download your own copy of the map just to make sure that it's up to date, because the department could change it from time to time. So just make sure you stay clear of those zones when you're crabbing or fishing in the Logan, and avoid those potentially expensive fines. As usual, I'm posting the GPS track of the trip, and for some reason GPS didn't work all that great this time. It obviously got a fix on us back at the boat ramp, but then it didn't seem to have a fix at all until we got down near where we were going to crab and fish. We didn't actually travel overland, that's just the straight line between the 2 points when the GPS did actually have a fix on our position. Anyway, there it is for what it's worth. That's where we were. Plenty of big crabs there, they're just all jennies. Plenty of fish there, if you have the right technique to catch them. There you have it, that's the trip. I didn't catch any fish, but I'm not too disappointed about that because I'm still learning how to use lures. There was one buck that was big enough to keep out of about a dozen crabs we caught in the pots. Again, that's just the way it goes. You've got to abide by the rules or there'll be no crabs left for anyone. I was really pleased to have caught that one crab because my wife had never tasted fresh mud crab before, and the look on her face when she tasted it was worth every bit of the effort that went into catching it. Hope you enjoyed the video as much as I enjoyed doing the crabbing. Until next time, good fishing.